Thinking of heading to the Disneyland Paris park by Eurostar and not sure how it all works? Stay tuned and we'll talk you through it. Hey everyone, it's Adam from AH Disney. We love travelling by Eurostar to Disneyland Paris. Recent changes mean this isn't as easy as it once was, but don't let that put you off. This is still our favourite way to get there, so let's get started. The Eurostar to Paris departs from St Pancreas, London daily. Prior to June 2023, you could get trained from St Pancreas to the Disneyland Paris train station, Marne-la-Vallée or Chessy. Unfortunately, the Eurostar have stopped this service until at least the end of this year, but nothing's been announced for 2024 yet. This said, it's still incredibly easy and comfortable to travel on the Eurostar. You have two core routes that get you to Disneyland Paris by Eurostar from London. The first is booked directly through Eurostar, and you can book an end-to-end journey that starts in St Pancreas with a change in Lille, Europe, and then on to Chessy. You'll typically have a 35 to 60 minute connection in Lille, which is plenty of time. From Lille, you'll connect with the SNCF train to Marne-la-Vallée or Chessy, the Disneyland train station. The trains run every day and there are usually about 5 to 8. The journey typically takes 3 to 4 hours, though some routes can take 5. Your second option, if you don't mind not having an end-to-end ticket, is to travel from St Pancreas to Gare du Nord. There's around 10 journeys a day from St Pancreas to this train station, and you'll then take the RER B, D or E, which is the Paris commuter trains, before connecting to the RER A, which takes you to the Paris train station. The RER train journeys, you just buy the tickets in the station and they're usually only a few pounds per person. These run every day from early morning to midnight, and the second half of the journey, so the RER part of the journey, takes about an hour. From a travel time perspective between the two options, they're broadly similar. The second option is usually a little bit cheaper as the RER trains are only a few pounds, but it does mean an extra connection. And if you're an anxious traveller, or maybe travelling with young children or a large party, the extra change might not be worth the extra stress. If you're going to go down this second route, Google Maps is absolutely your best friend for these connections. Next up, let's talk the different types of tickets you can get for a Eurostar journey. So for the Eurostar leg, you have 3 different types or travel classes. You have Standard, Standard Premier and Business Premier. With Standard, the carriages are typically in a 2-2 configuration. You get 2 pieces of luggage, and on board you can buy snacks, drinks and so on from the onboard bar. If you want to spend a little bit more, then Standard Premier is your next step up. No change to your luggage. The train carriages are in a 2-1 configuration, so the carriages are typically a little bit quieter, the seats are a little bit wider, and you do get a light meal and a drink served either at breakfast or a lunch/dinner. The final option is Business Premier. With this you get an extra piece of luggage. The carriage is in a 2-1 configuration again. You also get a dedicated fast track security and check-in gate, as well as an exclusive lounge. You also get a 3-course meal served with champagne. The final perk you get with Business Premier is you don't need to arrive quite as early to check in as you would for Standard and Standard Premier. For your non-Eurostar connecting train, the SNCF or equivalent, these are typically single tier only. Some of these trains will give you an assigned seat, but others it's just find a seat, so do check your tickets. Next up, let's talk through how it works when you get to the station. So you arrive at St Pancreas for the time advised on your ticket. You'll join a queue to check in. You'll then go through an airport style security before finally having your passport stamped twice. When you get to Lille, Europe, same concept, you'll need to have your luggage scanned again, and you may or may not get your passport stamped as well. The one big plus with travelling by Eurostar overflight is you don't have to take your liquids out of your case, you don't have the same liquids restrictions, which does make security a lot quicker. In Lille or in your connecting station, you'll usually have 35 to 60 minutes connection time, which we've always found to be plenty for getting through security, getting everything done and ready for the next train. When you get to Disneyland Paris train station, then you've got a number of options. Firstly, if you book the Magical Express and you're staying in a Disney hotel, you can head upstairs, drop off your bags, collect your tickets and go straight into the park. You can book this as part of your package with Disney, or you can add this on, and we'll leave a link on how to do that in the description below. If you've already got your park tickets or you're an annual pass holder and you don't want or don't need to use the Magic Express, then you can either leave your bags in a train station locker for a fee, or you can leave your bags in bag storage at the entrance of the parks for a fee, or indeed you can drop them off at your hotel. If you're too early to check into your hotel, you can still drop your bags off there. In terms of location, the train station in Paris is right next door to the parks and everything is very walkable. If you're staying in one of the value resorts, which are a little bit further away from the parks, then a shuttle service that takes you from Disney to the Disney hotels is a minute's walk away, and those shuttles are very frequent too. Next up, let's talk costs. Like most travel, booking early is usually cheaper and peak holiday season is going to be more expensive. The Eurostar typically release their tickets about 4 months ahead, and I've picked a random day just to show you a sample of prices per person against standard Premier and business Premier. Whether the more expensive option is worth it or not is down to personal choice. Next up, let's do some common questions and some tips. Firstly, what happens if my Eurostar train is cancelled? For me, this is where the Eurostar really trumps flights. Most London airports have 1 or 2 flights to Paris a day, but there are usually 10 to 25 trains a day. If it's cancelled, you have the option to switch to the next available train, but it is worth noting that the next available one might not be the next train that's going. What happens if you arrive on time, but it looks like you're going to miss the train because of delays getting through security at St Pancreas? We've had this panic before where we arrived 90 minutes before departure, joined the queue, and 75 minutes later we were still getting through security and passport control. If this happens to you, don't panic. You'll be in the same boat as most of the people in that queue, and almost always the Eurostar team will announce a short delay to get everyone on that train. How early you need to arrive at St Pancreas, and separately in the Paris train station if you're travelling back. So at St Pancreas, for standard and standard Premier, you're advised to arrive 90 minutes before your train's due to go. If you arrive too early, they won't let you join the queue. If you've booked for business Premier, then you need to arrive 45 to 60 minutes before your train's due to leave. On your return journey in Disneyland Paris station, the gates are typically shown 30 to 40 minutes before departure. Don't forget, if you need to collect your luggage and you're using the Magic Express, there can be a small queue, so do factor that into your wait time. In terms of how the overall experience compares to flying, time-wise both of these journeys are broadly the same, but for me the comfort is where the Eurostar really shines. Little things like being able to stroll on board to the shop and grab a snack or stretch your legs. The train has onboard Wi-Fi and also charging ports, and you can sit with a proper table and sit together if you're a party of 4 or so. Overall, we love the Eurostar. One of our top tips is to download the Eurostar app and collect reward points. Points can give you discounts on journeys, discounts on upgrades, money off in some shops in St Pancreas, or even free trips. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the content, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up and hit the notification button for more content. This is Adam, and until next time, just keep swimming.